please comment fast. How many people are able to listen me? So, am I audible? Good morning, dear students. Okay, so yesterday I've given homework, right? Do you have doubts on them? Yesterday class, theory doubt, any doubt in yesterday class? Okay. So today, before that we proceed, do you have doubts? How many people have solved yesterday class? Okay, so now I'm able to see some comments. Okay, so many people are watching Modi ji still. Okay, so question number 14 doubt. We were discussing thermodynamics. Okay. So we got okay, Divya Manu has asked me question number 14. Question number 14 is if 0.75 mole of an ideal gas expand isothermally at 27 degrees Celsius from 15 to 25 later, the maximum work obtained. So isothermally, it is isothermally. So reversible isothermally means what? I can write a formula of W equals to minus nRT ln V2 by V1. nR2 ln V2 by V1. N is given, everything is given. What is the problem here? There was no problem, right? 0.75 and R is now, in the case of, if you look at the option, the options are in liter into ATM. So you should not use R as 8.314 because the options given are there in ATM into liter. So R will use as 0.0821 into temperature. Now temperature is 300, then 2.303 log of 25 by 15. So minus 0.75 into 0.0821 into 300 into 2.303. This cancel 5 and 3. So I can write log 5 minus log 3 and I solve this. On solving we will get an option of 9.43 liter dot ATM with a minus sign. Okay, question number 20 also. The enthalpy of neutralization of any strong acid, and this is a theory, you should memorize this theory. Now what this theory is, H plus combines with OH minus to form water. If this is a strong acid and this is a strong base, then the delta H is minus 57.03 kilojoules. That is question number 20. What else other doubts you have? All those 22 people, tell your friends to come to class now. Question number 17. Okay, question number 17 we'll solve now. The heat of combustion of this they are asking. CS2 plus 3O2 gives rise to CO2 plus 2SO2. Okay. What this they are asking you to find delta H. Okay, they have given some three reaction they have given. C plus 2S gives rise to CS2. C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. And S plus O2 gives rise to SO2 with the delta H values are 117. Delta H value is minus 393. Delta H value is minus 297. Okay. Now, once I get it here, my job is to get this reaction. Okay. My job is to get this reaction using these three reactions. And whatever I do in these three reactions, I'll do the same thing to them so that I can get this reaction. Okay. So how do I get? I want to find carbon dioxide there. Okay. Which reaction carbon dioxide is there? In this reaction. In which side it is? Same side. Product side. I'm not going to do anything with this carbon dioxide reaction because it is present on the same side and there is 1 mole. So it also has 1 mole. But then I need what? SO2. I get SO2. I am having on the same side. I am having on the product side. But number are not same. This is 1 mole, that is 2 mole. It means I should make it 2 moles. It means I should multiply this by factor of 2. So factor of 2 will go to whole. Even to the delta H also. Okay. Then you will find that CS2 is here. CS2 you need here. But it is on that side. So you need to reverse this. It means this will get multiplied by minus 1, right? And that multiplied by 1. Once you do this, you need to add all three together, right? And if you add all three together, what is happening is, it will become 2, it will become 1 CO2 plus, it will become 2 SO2. This will become CS2 this side. Plus, now you need to understand 1 O2 here, 2 O2 here, total 3 O2. So I got the same reaction as they were asking the reaction. I made that reaction. Once I made that reaction, I will do the same thing here also. So first I have done. So delta H here is equals to same value minus 393. Double value minus 297 into 2 and minus value minus 117. I'll solve this. On solving, you will get an answer as minus 1104 kilojoule per mole. So then question number 40 also. Okay. Question number 40. H2 plus Cl2 delta H is 194 kilojoule in this reaction heat of formation. Okay. So this side copied, right? All people have copied this, right? So question number 40. 40 question is saying is H2 plus Cl2 gives rise to 2HCl. Okay. And delta H is given as 194 kilojoules. And they are asking heat of formation. They are asking heat of formation. Now they are asking heat of formation. Okay, so to get heat of formation, what is happening is, first you need to understand what is heat of or formation reaction. So formation reaction is whenever I form 1 mole of substance, whenever I form 1 mole of substance from its elemental state, H2 gas plus Cl2 gas, but this should be 1 mole always. Reactants product side, it must be always 1 only. So you have to balance it. To balance it, you will get 1 by 2. 1 by 2. Now you should get this reaction from here, right? So what is the answer? What factor I should multiply here to get this reaction? Tell me. What factor I should multiply in this reaction so that I can get this reaction? Write your answer in the chat box. Right answer first. Yes. So the correct answer is 1 by 2. We should multiply by 1 by 2. So if I multiply by 1 by 2, the whole reaction I have to multiply. It means this delta H will become 194 by half kilojoule, which makes it as 97 kilojoules. Okay? Yes, correct. So after 40, 32 and 39 also doubt is there. Okay? 32, question number 32. 32, given that the enthalpy of formation of carbon dioxide. So this is next question is 32. 32 is they have given carbon plus O2 gives rise to CO2. Delta H is minus X kilojoules. Okay? This question ends here. Then one more is given 2CO plus O2 gives rise to 2CO2 delta H equals to minus Y kilojoules. The question they are asking is enthalpy of formation of carbon monoxide. It means you should be able to form carbon monoxide always 1 mole. You will form it from where? Elemental state, carbon plus O2 half. This is the reaction you want to solve. You have to arrange these two reactions, multiply something you have to do in such a manner that you should get this reaction in these two reactions. Understood the job? So what do you want? You want CO here. But CO is where? CO is here. This side. You don't want that side. You want to reverse the direction. But then it will, if you reverse it, so you will do multiply by -1. But then there is a 2. You don't want 2. You want single, so you need to divide by 2 also. So what is the factor which you have to multiply here? -1 by 2. Correct? When you do -1 by 2, this will become CO2. CO2 will come here, CO2 will get cancelled, you will get the normal answer. Then whatever, then you will add these two reactions. When you are doing the same thing, so minus X, minus half and minus Y, minus half and minus Y. So the answer becomes minus X plus Y by 2. Or we can take an LCM also. If we take an LCM, it will become Y minus 2X by 2. That is question number 32. Then question number 39, right? Okay. Good morning, those people who are late joined. You people are watching Modi ji, right? So that Modi ji speech you could have listened later on also, because that speech will be recorded and news people will also tell you what to do. But this is important for your future. Okay, so the next question is 39. 39 question. 39 question is saying what? 39 question is saying stuck. Okay, question number 39. Okay, question number 39. 39 is saying, what is the entropy change when 1 mole of water is 100 degrees Celsius converted into steam at 100 degrees Celsius at constant pressure of 180, heat of vaporization. Okay, so delta S is equals to, what they are asking? They are asking entropy of vaporization. Entropy of vaporization. Entropy of vaporization. This is delta S vaporization equals to delta H vaporization by T. If you remember a formula I told you, delta S equals to Q by T. Q is delta H vaporization by T. T is in Kelvin. So delta H vaporization they gave 540 calorie per gram divided by 373 into 18. Why 18? Because that 540 calorie per gram is given for 1 gram. But they are asking for 1 mole. 1 mole means how many gram? 18 gram. This is the total energy of enthalpy of vaporization, calorie per mole. This is the temperature 373. We'll divide, we'll get the answer. The answer will come as 26.06. After this, what is your next doubt? Beta, do you have any other doubt? Do you have any other doubt? Comment fast. Okay. So I hope that all the people are solving these modules exercise questions. Then only you, on doing complete day practice, you can score an exam. Okay. If I teach continuously and you don't solve at home, then it is not going to beneficially. Okay. So if you solve daily, regularly, because I'm giving homework daily, right? You should also able to solve the homework daily. Okay. Now we'll start our next chapter. As you know, the next chapter name is, how many people know the next chapter name? Are people aware or not? What is the next chapter? Tell me. What is the next chapter name? So the next chapter name is gaseous state. Next chapter name is gaseous state. Okay. Now, when I go start next chapter, gaseous state, before we go into that, before we go in there, we should do some one more point such as gaseous state chapter A. Before we go in gaseous state, we should know something like called basic things. Okay. This I should not teach, but still I'm revising for you. Okay. This we all know, right? State of matter. How many state of matter are? There are 5 state of matter. Correct or 3? How many are there? Right, all state of matter. How many people knows? How many are there? There are 3 or 5 or 6 if you know. How many are there? Tell me. 5. What are those? What are those? You have to write what are those also. Name of them. Name of them. Name. Solid, liquid, gas, plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. Okay, so we memorize like this now. BEC, solid, liquid, gas, plasma. Okay, the way I have written is, because if you move from here to there, their temperature increases. Their temperature increases, and as well as their kinetic energy or total energy increases. So when you move from here to there, when you move from there to here, their energies are going to increase. Okay, so I have arranged them in increasing order of their energy. Okay, once I have arranged them in their increasing order of their energies, then what is the next? It also talks about if kinetic energy is more, it means they are more able to move. They are able to move more fasterly. And our chapter lies somewhere here, gaseous state. Okay. In our chemistry, we study all three. We study gas, liquid, solid. All three chapters we studied. We don't study this much in right now in your 11th and 12th class. But if you go to higher study, they will teach you these two also. Okay. So where do we study these three? One is gaseous state, which I am going to teach you now. Then liquid. Liquid is a chapter in your 12th class, first chapter, second chapter, such as dilute solution and its colligative property. So there liquid will come. Then there is one more chapter called solid state. So there also solid is coming. So we are going to cover three in our chemistry. Okay, these two will cover it in later classes. Okay, later stages. So now, while I am talking about a gaseous state, so first you need to understand some things. Okay, so we are not going to go now all the definitions of them. I am simply going to now gas. Now when I have gas, what happens is, in case of gas, generally what happens is, gases are those substances which do not have definite shape and definite volume. Do not have. Understand point? Gases are something which do not have definite shape and definite volume. What does that mean? Definite shape means something like this. If you have gases here, okay, in the whole water bottle there are gases. Till here there is a water. After other than this, there is all air is there. Air is a gas. So now what happens is, if I take this whole gas and open this now, okay, so whatever is gas here is, it is going to occupy all the volume. So now its shape is changing. Wherever I am now standing, it is going to take away the whole volume of it. Okay, so initially it was having this much shape, but now it is having a shape of a room. So that is called definite shape. It does not have definite shape. It is not having fixed shape. The same way, this has a fixed shape or definite shape. Such as, if you look at this duster is going to be look like this. Whether you keep this duster in the room or in a water bottle or in a jug, its shape is not going to change. This means called definite shape. So solid, this is solid. Solid has got definite shape. But gas does not have definite shape. It means it depends on the system of container. It depends on the shape of container. The next one is definite volume. The next one is called definite volume. Now the definite volume is what? If you look at this, it is going to take away this much volume of this solid. Okay. But if you look water, this much water is there. Now this much water, either you keep it in this or you keep it in glass, volume will be same only, this much volume. You can't make this, if this is 30 ml, you cannot make this as a 50 ml. Understand? This is called definite volume. But in case of gas, they do not even have definite volume. It means what? This much is gas. Correct? This much is gas. Now what you can do, once I open this tap, so whatever gases was inside, it has taken now all the volume. It means its volume has got increased, but the mass has not increased. Okay. It does not have fixed volume, but it has a definite mass because of conservation of law of mass. Law of conservation of mass. So its mass is fixed. What is not fixed is definite volume. Because of this point only, gaseous state occurs. Because of this point only. It do not have definite volume. If it was supposed to behave like a liquid, then there is no gases, all equations are vanishing. Okay. But it has indefinite volume. Okay, so what happens is, if you have gas still here, okay, this volume is V1 liters. Okay, this volume is V1 liter. Now what you did, you suddenly heated this. If you heat, so heating does what? It increases pressure. Because of pressure, so it wants to lift up. So if it lifts up also, then it will come somewhere here. Then the volume will become V2 liter. Now, as we know, V2 is greater than V1 because I'm heating it. It does not mean that you have increased the gas. Gas has not been increased. It simply is the gas is occupying more space. Same gas. Same gas is occupying more space. The amount of gas has not been increased. What is variable? Definite volume. So volume is variable. Okay. As because volume is variable, so now, so till now it was having this much space, but as soon as space is given more, the whole gas occupies more volume. Okay. So the point here is, volume of gas is always equals to volume of container. So wherever you want to keep gas, in what container you keep that gas, the volume of that container is equal to the volume of gas. Any doubt till now? Do you have any doubt till now? Or you have understood all? If you have doubts, you can ask me. Any doubt till now? Okay, so now we'll move on to numerical side of gaseous state. Okay, so as we know, there are some laws are there, which is known as gaseous law. First one is known as Boyle's law. Second one is known as Charles law. Third one is known as Avogadro's law. Okay. Individually, I'm not going to teach, as you know them also. Okay. I'm going to teach you something different, which is known as equation of state. This will club all three. This will club all three. And how it works? It works like this. P1 V1 by T1 equals to P2 V2 by T2. P1 V1 by T1 equals to P2 V2 by T2. This works for all of them. How it works? If you remember Boyle's law, what is the definition of Boyle's law? Boyle's law states that at constant temperature, pressure is inversely proportional to volume, or volume occupied by a gas is inversely proportional to the pressure applied by a gas. Correct? But at constant temperature. So if you want to apply for constant temperature, means T1 equals to T2. If T1 equals to T2, so they will both get cancelled. They will both get cancelled. Then what you will have? Here you will be able to write P1 equals to P2 V2. Which means what? Which means this. P1 by P2 equals to V2 by V1. Which means this. P is inversely proportional to 1 by V. Understand? So that if I remember this equation, I can able to solve any. Let's take a Charles law. Charles' law is volume directly proportional to temperature at constant pressure. So pressure is constant, you cancel out pressure. On cancelling out pressure, what is remaining? V1 by T1 equals to V2 by T2, or V is directly proportional to T. Understood? That also? Okay. So now Avogadro law is when we have volume is directly proportional to N. When you have volume directly proportional to N. Now N means number of moles. It means the system is variable and there is mass is increasing. Okay. So now we are going to solve some problem based on this. Okay. Based on this. Full job. Okay. So write down one question. Then we'll be able to see how much do we know. Okay, so question goes like this. Question. Find out the final volume when 2 liters of gas at 2 atm undergoes expansion to 1.5 atm at constant temperature. Solve this question. Solve fast. So those people who are worried about Modi's answer, Modi's suggestion, so the lockdown has been extended till 3rd of May. So you bet you stay home, learn our live classes and solve module so that you can utilize this 3 more weeks now. Okay. Solve this question. So 2.66 liters. Okay. So we'll see this question. How many people are solving now? .6 liter. Okay. So you see, I'm going to apply equation of state. Whichever problem is, we'll apply P1 V1 by T1 equals to P2 V2 by T2. Okay. P1 is 2 atm. Okay. Volume is 2 liter. At constant temperature, so you can write T only. Because temperature is not going to change. You cannot write T1, T2 two times. You can simply write T, which will cancel out. Okay. Then 1.5 atm volume they are asking by T. So TT will get cancelled. Okay. So atm will get cancelled. What you have is V2 equals to 4 by 1.5. 1.5 could be also written as 4 by 3 by 2. 2 goes there. So 8 by 3, 2.67 liters. Right? Correct? All the people's answer is correct, right? So next question will solve, okay? This is easy problem. This is easy problem. Next problem, okay? By what percentage change in volume occurs? By what percentage change in volume occurs when when temperature of gas is increased from 27 degrees Celsius to 127 degrees Celsius at constant pressure. Solve this question now. So, got the answer? So, what is the answer? Anyone able to solve this question? Increased by 33.33%. So Preetham and Kamal Solanki as Bhanu Goda also has given the correct answer. We'll see whether it is correct or not. Okay, so we'll proceed now. Okay, so what happens here is constant pressure. So we'll apply same equation. P1 V1 by T1 equals to P2 V2 by T2. What is same? Pressure. So cancel out pressure. V1 we don't know. T1 we know 27. But we can't write 27. You have to write in Kelvin. So it will become 300 equals to V2. 127 will become 400. Right? So what you have is V2 equals to 4 by 3 V1. It means what? It means that final volume is 4 by third of initial volume, but that is not the answer they were all looking at. Why? What percentage change in volume? So you need to find percentage V. That formula is V2 minus V1 by V1. Change in volume divided by volume into 100. So final V2 is 4 by 3 V1 minus V1 by V1 into 100. If we take an LCM, 3 V1, so 4 V1 by 3. So we'll get 4 V1 by 3 V1 into 100. Sorry, 1 by 3. 4 minus 1 will get. So this will become V1. Then we'll get V1 get cancelled. 100 by 3 percentage or 33.33%. Right? Yes. So all people have given the correct answer. We'll try one more question, okay? Third question. By what percentage change occurs in volume when pressure is increased from 760 mm Hg to at constant temperature. Try to solve this now. Solve this question. Solve this question fast. What is the answer? So decrease by 50%. Decrease by 33. Okay, so we'll solve this question also. So, constant temperature, so I can write simply P1 V1 equals to P2 V2. Now P1 is 760 mmHg. This is 1.5, so you need to make sure that both units becomes same. Either you convert this into ATM or you convert this into mmHg. This is easy to convert. This is 1 ATM because if you divide by 760 mm, you will get an ATM. So 1 ATM into volume V1 equals to 1.5 V2. So V2 equals to 1 by 1.5 of V1. Or this could be also written as 2 by 3 V1, right? So percentage change in volume, I already gave you formula. V2 minus V1 by V1 equals to V2 is 2 by 3 V1 minus V1 by V1 into 100. So if you take an LCM 3 V1, so minus V1 by 3 V1 into 100. So we'll get minus 100 by 3% or minus 33.33%. So that minus says what? Minus says that decrease by 33.33%. Decrease by 33.33%. Okay? Okay, now we'll have some graphs to plot. P versus V. Boyle's law. Then we can have PV versus V. Boyle's law. Try to draw both the graphs. Try to draw that graph. Okay. So drawn graph. Boyle's law, both the graphs. PV versus V is straight line. PV versus V is a straight line. Vimla, straight line to which axis? X axis or Y axis? It is a straight line to which axis? No from origin. No, Vimla, it is incorrect answer. Okay, so the correct answer I'm going to draw now, okay? So what happens is, here you want to draw Boyle's law. Boyle's law is P inverse proportional to 1 by volume. So now this is a graph of a rectangular hyperbola. Now rectangular hyperbola is plotted always like this. Okay, I can draw two more graphs. This is a T1, T2, T3. In the exam, they can ask you which temperature is higher. So you draw perpendicular to them. Whichever is maximum distance has maximum T. So T3 is greater than T2 is greater than T1. Okay. Now in case of Boyle's law, you remember PV equals to constant. Now PV equals to constant means whatever you do, PV value is not going to change. It means something like line like this. But I can draw 2-3 lines. This could be T1, T2, T3. Then whatever is the maximum height is the maximum temperature. It means T1 is greater than T2 is greater than T3. Understood all 3 points? Understood? Okay, so now once we finish this, then we have next thing called ideal gas equation, and which is easy, right? Full job, okay? Ideal gas equation. Now ideal gas equation means what? Ideal gas equation means what? PV equals to nRT. PV equals to nRT. Now I'll name all of them. P is pressure. Its units could be ATM, mm, Hg, torr, bar, Newton per meter square, Pascal. These all are units. Then next you have volume. V is what? Volume, which could be liter, meter cube, milliliter, centimeter cube, decimeter cube. That's all. Okay. Then you have got N, which is known as number of moles. Then you get R, which is known as gas constant, which is known as gas constant, which is known as gas constant. Now here only. Gas constant. R equals to 0.0821 atm dot liter per mole per Kelvin. Another value of R is 8.314 joules per mole per Kelvin. R one more value, 1.98 calorie per mole per Kelvin. Okay. Then T is temperature, which must be in Kelvin. Understood? Copy all. Copy all. Copy fast. Copied. Right? So we'll solve problem now. So first problem goes like this. What is the number of moles of a gas required which occupies 20 liter of volume at 2 atm pressure and 27 degrees Celsius of temperature. Solve. Are people trying? How many people are trying? Comment in the comment box. 2 moles. Okay. So we write PV equals to nRT. Pressure is 2 atm. Volume is 20 liter. And I want to find R. I have to choose a value of R. To choose a value of R, you need to understand what are the values of pressure and volume. Pressure is given in atm and liter. So from these three values, I need to choose a R whose units are in atm and liter. So you will find this formula only, this value. So R becomes that value 0.0821 into atm liter per mole per Kelvin into Kelvin becomes 300 Kelvin. So N equals to 2 into 20 by 0.0821 into 300. Understand? On solving this, we will get 1.62 moles. Done? Okay, next question. How much mass of carbon dioxide gas is required to create pressure of 760 mmHg and 10 meter cube of volume and 27 degrees Celsius of temperature. How much mass of carbon dioxide gas is required to create pressure of 760 mmHg and at pressure of at 10 meter cube of volume and 27 degrees Celsius of pressure. Try to solve this question. So try question or not? $137 grams. Okay, we'll see the answer. Adrian is last. I do not understand which language you are writing. Okay. So can you write in English, then we can understand which doubt you have. Okay, so we'll try this question now. Okay, so we apply PV equals to nRT pressure 760 mmHg. So now I am able to write 180 m into volume. Volume is in 10 meter cube. 10 meter cube, if I write 10 meter cube equals to n, I want to find out R. R, which R I should take? Tell me now. Which R I should take? Tell me the value of R. Which R I should take? Which R I should take? 3-4 people have given the answer. Out of them, 2 answers are same, 3 answers are different. Okay, which R? So it depends. You can convert this ATM into meter per Newton per meter square, or you can convert this meter cube into liter. It depends which one you want to prefer. Okay. So now, if you write n equals to 0.0821 ATM dot liter per mole per Kelvin and temperature is 300 Kelvin. Okay. In that case, you should convert this meter cube into liter. Then you should remember one point, that 1 meter cube equals to 1000 liter. 1 meter cube equals to 1000 liter. So now I get 10 meter cube. It means 1 into 10 power 4. ATM dot liter equals to n into 0.0821 ATM dot liter per mole per Kelvin into 300 Kelvin. Kelvin get cancelled. ATM liter gets cancelled. So n will come as 10 power 4 0.0821 into 300. We can open up something like this. 10,000 divided by 300 into 0.0821. So 30 cancel. So we get 100 by 3 into 0.0821. These are the number of moles. These are the number of moles. Once I write, but they are not asking number of moles, they are asking mass. So this number of moles can also be equals to given mass by molar mass. Right? So given mass equals to how much? 100 by 3 into 0.0821 into 44. We'll solve this to get an answer. Okay, what is the answer now? Tell me. What is the answer? The answer is 17,864 gram or 17.86 kilogram. Understood? Anyone have written the answer with kilogram? Let me check. Yes, Devidas has written correct answer. Banu, all people have written wrong answer. They have written in grams. So you should write it in either 4-5 digit grams or in kilograms. Okay, done now. So we understood this concept also. The next concept is known as Dalton's law of partial pressure. Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay. Dalton's law of partial pressure. Now, this law is only applicable to non-reacting gaseous mixture. Condition is, it is applicable to non-reacting gaseous mixture. It means the gases must not gases must not react with each other. The gases must not react with each other. They are non-reacting gases mixture. Examples, can we have an example? Such as air. Air is a mixture of O2 and N2. They are not going to react. Or LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, which is filled in the cylinders. There butane is there, propane is there, but they are not going to react. So in these cases we can apply Dalton's law of partial pressure. But what is Dalton's law of partial pressure? Which says that PT equals to PA plus PB plus PC and so on. Which means what? In a container, if there are A gas, B gas, C gas, D gas, E gas, so all the pressure you add, that is your total pressure. Okay, final pressure. Now I can individually also can calculate PA. So PA equals to PT dot XA. PA equals to PT dot XA. What is PT? PT is known as total pressure. PA is known as partial pressure. Partial pressure of A. Then what is XA? XA is known as mole fraction of A. Which, how do I calculate mole fraction of A? That is Na by Na plus Nb plus Nc plus Nd and so on. That's how I calculate mole fraction. Then what? One more point is, so that's how I calculate Pb also. PT dot XB, partial pressure of B, total pressure into XB, mole fraction of B. Mole fraction of B equals to what? Nb divided by XB equals to what? Nb divided by Na plus Nb plus Nc and so on. But then there is a one point. What is the point? XA plus XB plus XC and so on is always equals to 1. Is always equals to 1. Understood this concept also? Okay, so the next concept is Gram's law of diffusion. Gram's law of diffusion. Gram's law of diffusion. Okay, Gram's law of diffusion. What happens is, whenever there is a container and there is a gas inside that container, if you put a hole, okay, so internal pressure is more, outside pressure is less, so the gas will start moving, coming outside. Gram's law of diffusion talks about the rate. It talks about the rate at what rate gas from inside comes outside. That is called diffusion. Okay, that is called diffusion, and the rate of diffusion, which is denoted by R. So R is inversely proportional to square root of D. R is inversely proportional to square root of D, or R is inversely proportional to square root of D. We have formula of D equals to Pm by RT, PmW by RT. P is pressure, Mw is molar mass, Mw is molar mass, R is gas constant, T is temperature, D is density. D is density. Okay, so now once I replace this D here, I can get square root of Mw. Then what happens is, then I can write two ratio. R1 by R2 equals to under root of Mw2 by Mw1. And this R is also calculated as volume of gas diffused by time taken. Copy all now. Once you have copied both the side, tell me in comment box, then we'll solve problems. the difference between effusion and diffusion? Okay, listen up. This is a good doubt. Okay. And there is two cases are there. Okay. If there is a gas A, outside there is a gas B. Okay. And you put a hole. So what happens is some gases go outside, some gases will come from outside to inside. This process is called as diffusion. Okay, diffusion is called intermixing of both of them. But another diagram, gas A and outside there is vacuum, and then you put a hole. So now the gas is coming outside only. This is called diffusion is only that one gas is only moving. Diffusion is one gas is moving, one gas is moving. This is called intermixing. Okay. If you have intermixing, it is called diffusion. If you have single gas, it is called effusion. But whether it is a diffusion or effusion, the formula stays the same. Okay. Copied? Any other doubt? Okay, so now we'll solve some problems, okay? Alright, a gas diffuses 4 times faster than hydrogen gas. Find out the vapor density of that gas. Let's get up. So a gas diffuses 4 times faster than hydrogen gas. Find out the vapor density of the gas. Try to solve this question. Solve fast. Are you trying or not? Okay, so get me an answer fast. So 1 by, what is 1 by 8? Okay, so now we'll solve this question also. So to solve this question, we'll write like this. R of A is R of H2. A gas diffuses 4 times faster. Something like this. Ra is equals to 4 times of R of hydrogen gas. Once I do this, so now this could be able to written like this. Mw of H2 by Mw of A. Okay. This side I can write 4 square equals to molar mass of hydrogen gas is 2 by molar mass of A. I'll do square, it will become 16 equals to 2 MWA. So MW of A is equals to 2 by 16 or 1 by 8. This is molar mass of A, but I am asking vapor density. So vapor density equals to Mw by 2, 1 by 8 by 2 equals to 1 by 16. Okay, done now? Copied? Yes. All those people who have written 1 by 16, they have got the correct answer. The next theory. Next theory is known as kinetic theory of gases. Okay. Kinetic theory of gases. Basically, we are using PV equals to nRT, right? PV equals to nRT is only applicable for an ideal gas. And kinetic theory will talks about that a gas to have. What are the conditions for a gas to behave as an ideal gas? Okay, so for that kinetic theory of gases are there. Their assumptions are there that we assume a particle or a gaseous molecule very, very tiny in mass, tiny in size, and which have mass. Okay, that way. And second of all is one molecule of gas does not attract or repel any other molecules. They do not occupy the much more volume as compared to volume of container. These all are the assumptions which we take care in kinetic theory of gases. And once we take care of these kinetic theory, these assumptions, we get an equation PV equals to 1 by 3 m n u RMS square. M n u RMS square. PV equals to 1 by 3 m n u RMS square. Okay. So from here we get u RMS equals to under root of 3 p v by d or 3 RT by m square root. Okay. So u RMS equals to 3 RT by m. Then we get one more u MP equals to under root of 2 RT by m. And one more we get u average equals to under root of 8 RT by pi m. What is this? This is known as root mean square velocity. This means most probable velocity, and this means average velocity. This means that average velocity. Okay, once I get this till here, okay, then one more we get formula such as kinetic energy equals to 3 by 2 RT. It depends only on temperature. It depends only on temperature. It depends only on temperature. So now what happens is, till the temperature is same, kinetic energy of all the gases are same. Sirin Samar is asking a doubt. So in the last question, how did the formula of vapor density come? That formula of vapor density I gave in the mole concept. This vapor density equals to molar mass by 2. This formula I have given in the mole concept in the first class of our. Okay? Understood, Sareen? So this vapor density equals to molar mass by 2. This formula is there coming from the mole concept. Vapor density is the relative density of a substance to the density of hydrogen gas. From there we derive this formula. Vapor density equals to molar mass by 2. Simply you can memorize this and we'll get the answer. Okay. So now, copy this all. Copy this all. And then we have on the ratio also. What is the ratio? That we start from U MP is to U average is to U RMS. Okay. This goes as 1 is to 1.128 is to 1.224. Okay, copied. So once we do this, then we'll try to solve some problems. Okay, so question. Find out the ratio of URMS of oxygen gas and hydrogen gas at same temperature. Solve this question now. Find out the ratio of URMS of oxygen and hydrogen gas at same temperature. Only one has given me the correct answer. What about the other people? Are you not trying? Four people has given me an answer. Okay, so we see this question now. So the RMS of O2 by URMS of H2 under root of 3 RT by M divided by under root of 3 RT by M. But this M for O2, this M for H2. This will go here, this will go there. So what I can write? I can write a big square root. 3 RT by M of O2 into 3 RT into M of H2. 3 RT gets cancelled. So what I have is, so I can write now URMS of O2 by URMS URMS of H2 is equal to under root of MW of H2 by MW of O2. Directly also we can memorize. I don't need to do all this. If they are asking URMS ratio, inversely proportional to their molar mass. Now what is molar mass of H2? H2 molar mass is 2, O2 molar mass is 32. So under root of 1 by 60. So 1 is to 4. So then I can write URMS of O2 by URMS of H2 is equals to 1 is to 4. 1 is to 16 is not the correct answer because you need to take a square root also. A square root, don't do this mistake. Listen up. Don't do this mistake. Do not cancel ever square root to square root. They are not on the equal to side of each other. They are not left hand side. They are up and down. They don't generally get cancelled. Okay? That is the mistake you can do. So don't do this mistake. Okay? Okay, now the next heading will go. The next heading is this heading. Van der Waals equation. Okay. So now we'll start again, okay? So now we'll start Van der Waals equation, okay? While we will go to Van der Waals equation, so Van der Waals equation is only applicable to real gas. Van der Waals equation is only applicable to real gases. Now real gases okay, so let the people join, then we'll start, okay? Some people are there still. Am I audible to you all? Okay, so some 20 people have joined us. Okay, we'll start. So now Van der Waals equation. What happens is it is only applicable to real gases. Okay, now gases follows ideal behavior at high temperature and low pressure. If you have high temperature and low pressure, then gases will be behaving as an ideal gas. But if you have low temperature or high pressure, gas do not behave ideal behavior. Okay. Then which behavior they will behave? They will behave as a real gas. So to apply to a real condition, Van der Waals has given its own equation. It has converted an ideal gas equation into a Van der Waals equation, which will be applicable to a real gas. And the equation goes like this: P plus A n square by V square bracket V minus NV equals to nRT. This is the Van der Waals equation or real gas equation. Whereas PV nRT has a same meaning. A is known as van der Waal constant, which is directly proportional to force of attraction and its size. Whereas P is also known as van der Waals constant, which is directly proportional to size. Okay. So now what happens is this. So we should know the units of A and B. Sometimes what happens, they simply ask what is the unit of B, what is the unit of A. Okay. So if these two factors are getting added, it means their units are same. This is physics, unit at dimension first chapter. Okay. It means unit of P equals to unit of AN square by V square. So a unit of A equals to what? P into V square by N square. It means what? ATM dot liter square and mole square, per mole square or mole inverse square. Okay. This is A unit. These two are getting subtracted. It means their units are also same. It means what? V equals to NB unit. This what I'm comparing. I'm comparing only units of them. Okay, so B unit what? V by N unit means what? Liter per mole. Okay. So now this is for. Now what happens is I can divide this N also in V. Then this equation becomes for molar volume. Then this equation becomes for molar volume. Okay. Then copy this side all. Copy this fast. Okay, so then what happens is then we have compressibility factor. Which is denoted by Z. Z has a formula of V real by V ideal. If Z is equals to 1, that means ideal gas. If Z is greater than 1, it means V real is greater than V ideal. It means gas is less compressible. If Z is less than 1, it is V if Z is less than 1 means V real is less than V ideal. It means gas is more compressible. Understand? Copy both sides. Okay, then what happens is we have something small value, and that is called as critical constant. The next heading is known as critical constant means is, let's say I'm heating a gas, okay, or I'm heating a liquid, okay. So when you are heating a liquid, after some point of time, liquid will start boiling. Once the liquid will start boiling, it will form a gas, okay. So you can heat the gas also. When you heat the gas, it will come to a temperature, it will come to a point where after you heat this gas, then once it becomes a gas, then what happens is you can convert this gas into liquid also by compressing it and decreasing the temperature also. But what happens is, at certain value, if you cross a certain value, after crossing a certain value, then you have a gas, but you start applying enormous amount of pressure to convert into liquid, but it won't happen. That point is known as critical point. That point is known as critical point. Okay, in critical point, first one is known as critical temperature. Critical temperature. Critical temperature, simple definition is temperature beyond which liquid doesn't exist. It means temperature beyond which liquid does not exist. Liquid does not exist. That temperature is known as critical temperature, and it is denoted by Tc, calculated by 8a by 27 Rb. 8a by 27 Rb. 8a by 27 Rb. The same way I got critical temperature, the same way at that particular temperature, whatever pressure is there, critical pressure, that pressure is known as critical pressure. It means pressure at critical temperature is known as critical pressure. It is denoted by Pc and calculated by A by 27 B square. A by 27 B square. Once you have critical temperature, and the last critical constant is known as critical volume. Now this definition is volume occupied by gas at Tc and Pc. It means the gas occupying some volume. The volume occupied by gas at Tc and Pc is known as critical volume. It is denoted by Vc, and its formula is Vc equals to 3b. So copy these three formulas. Okay. Once you copy these formulas, copy it all. Okay. So then what happens is, you remember PV equals to nRT. If I write for 1 mole, it will become PV equals to RT. Your job is to find out the value of PC Vc by RTC. It means you write down like this: PC, Vc, Tc. You put the values of them, how much we get? Such as PC value is A by 27B square, Vc value is 3B divided by R. R I write it as it is. Tc is 8A by 27 RB. So PC Vc by RTC. On solving we get, tell me how much we get. Tell me how much we'll get. So we'll get anyone? Yes, we'll get 3 by 8. Okay. So by this, gas state chapter is also over. Okay, your homework is module 1. Your homework is module 1 and it goes on page number 93. Okay, how many problems are there? 59 problems are there. Okay, solve all those 59 problems. You will get a scanned copy in your groups also. Once you solve, tomorrow we'll discuss the doubts also. Okay, and do solve. If you do not solve, you will not get the problems, you will not get the doubts, what doubts you are getting. Okay, so try to solve the problems. Okay, we'll continue in the next class. Okay, thank you all. Thank you very much.